Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Medford School Superintendent Phil Long. Dr. Long, good to see you. How are you?
It's good to be here. I'm fine, thank you.
All right, so the last time we spoke was actually the day of the Sandy Hook tragedy in Connecticut about a month ago. A lot of people are talking about how the paradigm is shifting in regards to safety in our schools. What are you guys doing in response to that, or what is being done?
Well, you know, immediately after that, it caused us to think about how might we approach assessing if there are other things we need to do. The following week, I met with our facilities manager to start a process to review all of our sites, and then talking with our SR, student resource officers, we did some research over the Christmas holidays about other things we might be looking at. On January 7th, I think it was the first day students were back, I had a meeting with the Medford Chief of Police, Jacksonville Chief of Police, representatives of the Sheriff's Office, and Medford Fire Department, and then our leadership team, and we talked through what we were seeing, the concerns we had, and we came up with several strategies of things that we're now doing. Those site reviews are occurring. We're looking, we were blessed in our bond to make some great improvements to our campuses, but there are some things that we still can do, and we'll be doing those assessments and making that a part of our budgeting process as we go forward. The second thing is just looking at our protocols around when there's someone on campus who shouldn't be there. Our staff is well trained, and we do regular practices with our kids. But we're going to be looking at limiting access to our campuses a little more. And I think people will see over the next several months some tightening up of some of the access points and protocols for getting on our campuses. It's about keeping students, staff, parents, patrons all safe when they're on our campuses, but not really turning our facilities into places where kids feel like they're kind of in a prison setting. That's not a good learning environment either.
Something I noticed in Washington State just days ago, I think the end of last week, I noticed that a school district there, I don't know if it compares to the size of yours, but they do have armed guards at the schools now. What is your reaction to that?
Well, in talking with our public safety law enforcement partners, they have a real concern about, as we move forward, who is on campus and who does have weapons and what role do they play. We have a really strong partnership with Medford Police Department around student resource officers. So we actually have police officers on our secondary campuses at our high schools full-time. And the protocol, if there's something going on, anyone who has a gun might get shot. And if you think about it, in an urgent situation, that would be a concern. But secondly, it's about people who are in those guard positions or surveying that they are part of the hierarchy of the chain of authority should something happen, and that they would operate within the guidelines of the response of the police department. So, there's a delicate balance there in how we make that all work. And I'm just pleased that we have a model program with MPD, and it's across our district. And yeah, so that's the way we're approaching it at this point.
Okay, I know we got a couple other issues we want to discuss, but first we're going to take a quick break.
You bet.
Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Medford School Superintendent Dr. Phil Long. Mr. Long, recently you settled a contract agreement with the Oregon Schools Employees Association. This, with other agreements, affects the district's budget. How will these issues affect resources for the coming year?
Well, it's not just about the coming year. It's sort of the longer look in this. And the agreements that we have with about half our employees now have helped stabilize some costs for us. We had some agreements around containing insurance costs, some early retirement benefits that have been altered so that we have a fixed obligation there. It's been a challenge for our employees to make these adjustments, and I really admire the Classified Employees Association and their members for working through this. We were able to resolve it and get a tentative agreement that was overwhelmingly approved by their members, and we're going forward, and that will help us in the long term. In fact, we estimate with that and the adjustments we made in the administrative and other non-union positions over the next 10 years of somewhere between $20 and $25 million less in costs that we'll have, and some changes in behaviors on how we use our health insurance too.
Okay, and I know the governor's spoken already this calendar year about changing education. He's talked a lot about what he wants to see. The legislature will be back up there in just about a week's time, I believe. What do you expect to see in Salem this year? Well, that could affect you.
Well, the governor, the role of governor generally is to put out a proposed budget, and then legislators meet and decide how much of that they're able to do or how they want to go about it. But the focus really does turn to the legislature, and we're really fortunate in Southern Oregon. We have several local legislators legislators who have influential positions. Peter Buckley is chairing the House Ways and Means Committee, and that's where the revenue bills come out of. And we're advocating for a funding level that will allow us first sustain what we have, and then for the innovations that the governor's proposed, we can see funding those, but we're going to need some more resources to do that. And money's tight everywhere, but it's about where we're going to invest. And I'm pleased with the, at this point, the discussions we've been having with local legislators, that there's real interest in reinvesting in our public schools and in our children who are, our future taxpayers.
Absolutely, got to take care of our kids. Dr. Long, great to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Stay with us. We'll be right back.